In my last video discussing Ash and Iron, what I've officially renamed Ass and Irony, one of the topics discussed was how dedicated Bungie is to not restoring SIVA in the current days of Destiny 2, going as far as to include multiple dialogue entries of characters stating in some form or fashion, SIVA is finally gone, or including fully modeled SIVA Splicer fallen corpses as set dressing to drive that point home in the new Plaguelands, also renamed personally as the Deadlands. We discussed in brief how even though some people say SIVA was completely destroyed and that there was no way SIVA Splicers could return that made any sense, in reality there's plenty of ways SIVA could return. So let's break them down. Reason number 1. Reprised raids always broke timelines and continuity. Previously stated, Crota and Oryx have both been dead for quite a long time in terms of timeline. Bungie ignored that and reprised both Crota's End and King's Fall for the sake of content. We also always understood that returning Wrath of the Machine would require the most work of any raid reprisal, needing a full restoration of SIVA Splicers to be an honest reprisal since using basic Fallen would not go over well. On top of that, since Outbreak Prime was reprised in Destiny 2 as Outbreak Perfected without the raid attached to it, Bungie has stated in the past that should a Wrath reprisal happen, they would create an entirely new raid exotic to be a drop in the Destiny 2 version of Wrath. All reprised raids got mechanic reworks for most encounters, reworks to weapons and raid exotics, and for the case of King's Fall and Vault of Glass, recreated regions of a location that only existed in Destiny 1 for the opening encounters. Vault of Glass opening in the Waking Ruins of Venus, and King's Fall opening in the Hall of Souls on the Dreadnought. So the restoration of Wrath would by default restore Foundry 113 for the Wrath of the Machine opening encounter in addition to the rest of the raid throughout the old Cosmodrome wall. So in total, the only extra work for a Wrath reprisal different from the other 3 restored raids is just SIVA Splicers and a new raid exotic. Reason number 2. While discussing raid exotics, Outbreak Perfected and its origins in Destiny 2. According to Destinypedia, before the Red War, the Cryptarchs placed Outbreak into a quarantine vault after the weapon was suspected of not only being a Guardian killer, that being weapons like Thorn that could permanently kill a Guardian without destroying their ghost, but also being the last known source of SIVA after the replication chamber was demolished. When the tower fell at the hands of the Red Legion, the tower was abandoned and mostly left alone, until Aramis attempted to rally what was left of the House of Devils under her command. A heist was attempted by Cyrix and a small fallen army, but was foiled by a joint effort between Guardians and a now well-known ally, Mithrax. Afterwards, we would reclaim the SIVA rifle for ourselves, even upgrading it with some help from Ada 1 and the Black Armory sometime later. Speaking of which, if Ada went through the effort of recreating and upgrading Outbreak with Vex Tech and simulation, what is to say some treasonous Fallen doesn't steal the blueprints for new Outbreak and uses it to rebuild the replication chamber deep within Site 6? Imagine a second attempt of a SIVA army would create some better contingency plans this time. Something like not basing everything on a single replicator and possibly spreading to other worlds as well. That's what existed before Ass and Irony launched and revealed reason number 3 and possibly the most plot relevant reason. During the season's opening mission, the current tower comes under attack by Coral Vex, attempting to steal Golden Age tech during the night shift. After clearing out most of Maya Sundaresh's Vex, we then encounter Red Legion Cabal, also under Maya's control. Also, we all know the Red Legion was effectively dismantled, most of the leaders and commanders being killed and all remnants also being killed or folding into other factions, namely Keitel's Imperials or Callus's Shadow Legion. It comes out during the attack that not only were these Cabal Red Legion, but Ghaul's elite that were present when the tower fell. A bit of a paradox, right? Well, it was also speculated that since Maya Sundaresh has access to the Vex network, she used it to pull a Red Legion army from an alternate timeline where they are still around and then subjugated them to her will. So Bungie used the classic shortcut of alternate timelines to excuse why specifically Red Legion were present. So in reality, why not use alternate timelines and pull SIVA Fallen into this reality? Once again, I know SIVA Fallen would be more work for the development of this season, since Red Legion are just model changes but still mechanically the exact same, but in reality, easy path isn't the right path. Bungie took the shortcut narrative option by claiming alternate timelines, then took the shortcut in development by just reusing Red Legion assets and slightly updating the visual models instead of doing the appropriate thing and finally returning SIVA Fallen to Destiny. What's best, as many of my comments have pointed out, Bungie had a few home run opportunities that they just squandered. Multiple times people have noted not only the same idea of pulling SIVA Fallen from another timeline, but some folks have even pointed out pulling SIVA from another timeline and using it to augment Vex and Cabal. In reality, SIVA was a nanotechnology made with the intent of building new colonies on distant planets, so if the conductor was overextended and needing more power, a self-replicating nanotechnology could have been a much better play than raiding a dead Warmind's loot box. But aside from the new imps, Vex and Red Legion are so basic nowadays. If Bungie took the right initiative and made some horrific SIVA Red Legion or SIVA infested Vex, I'd probably not be calling this update ass and irony. Even more evidence of Bungie slowing down and delivering less content when Bungie needs to start doing extra work to make up for the shortcuts. In past seasons, we would get an exotic armor for each class and 3 or 4 different exotic weapons with new quests and endgame content like dungeons and raids, when currently we're only getting 2 exotic weapons and no armor. Bungie getting rid of a seasonal hub and just pushing new seasonal content through the portal, basically just making a thumbnail and saying that's enough when past seasons would get an entire dedicated section of the helm and a vendor. Bungie selling a new rewards pass for $10 when the whole past season cost $10 while also saying this season is free. Bungie putting all of the effort in cosmetics instead of better content updates. Like we had 3 armor sets in Eververse during Edge of Fate, and so far we have another 3 sets for Ass and Irony, themes being Taken, Jade Rabbit, and Festival Lost 2025 Slashers and Spectres. Plus the latest drama about the former Iron Banner armor cancelled and put into the Silver Store instead. Clearly Bungie is taking as many shortcuts as possible while trying to make as much money as possible. Not very good for a game's lifespan. With that last collective of Bungie BS, as always the comments are open for some civil discussions. Do you agree, disagree, wishing the conductor pulled some other faction from another timeline? The comment section is open. If you're looking to support the channel of a 11-year Destiny veteran, a like and subscribe is always appreciated, but with that, my name is the Mad Scorpion and I will see you in the next video.